Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Twilight Princess. In this bonus episode, we're going to be tackling the fishing hole. This is a pretty fun place to come around and waste time. You don't really get any reward for anything we're going to be doing in here. But it is really fun to do, and it can kill a lot of time if you're just bored one day and want to, play some Twilight Princess. I could pretty much spend all day in this place. It's just that much fun. So in here there are a couple things you can do. You can either go lure fishing, which costs rupees and is a little bit more complicated, or you can go bobber fishing, which we've been able to do for pretty much the entire game, except there's a much larger variety of fish to be caught here than we can find pretty much anywhere else. But before we actually get to the fish, I want to go ahead and show you guys like all the random stuff you can get while bobber fishing. Because there are a total of 3 things I found that you can get besides actual fish. So let's go ahead and see what the first one is. This first one here is the only good one of the group that I found. And it's a bag of rupees. You don't know who dropped it, so it's okay to keep it. And then whenever you open it, you get some random amount of rupees. So, that's pretty useful. Now this one we've actually caught before while trying for the bottle back in the fishing hole a while back. It's another boot. Will there ever be a day when people don't throw boots away like this? So yeah, there you go, just something random you can get. Now this one actually I had never seen before actually recording this, so it kind of caught me by surprise when I saw it, but I'm pretty glad I found it. You got a twig! You didn't catch a fish, but catching detritus is good practice. Dispose of it with A. So there you go, that's all the random stuff you get. Now when you are actually going for fish, instead of like twigs and boots and rupees and stuff, you can make your job a little bit easier by coming around here to the back of the hut that's in the fishing hole. You can shoot down that little beehive there, and of course all these bees will start chasing you. Just come over here to the water and dive in. As soon as you do that, they'll lose your trail and just kind of disperse. And now we can go get what we actually were coming over here for. If we open up our items, take an empty bottle and scoop. We get some bee larvae, and you can bait your fishing rod with that, and it'll make catching fish a lot easier, like they'll come to it faster and stuff like that. So here is a pretty blown up image of the fishing hole map. It's got kind of general locations of where all the fish are. This applies both for bobber fishing and for lure fishing, so you can see some good spots. Got the little, got Hyrule bass, Orden catfish, and Hylian pikes that we can catch. Those are like the 3 kinds of normal fish. Then you can also see over there, I list where the baby loach and the adult loach is. The baby loach you get by bobber fishing. It's pretty simple, just go over there and get it, not really complicated. But the adult loach has a little star that says only during summer. Now what the deal is with that is every time you exit and re-enter the fishing hole, it advances seasons by 1. So you can only get the adult loach during the summer season, which is when the trees are all green. That's the easiest way to tell. Okay, so the first actual fish we're going to be catching is the fishing hole standard, which is the Hyrule bass. For fishing enthusiasts, this fish is one of the basics. So basically, I'm just going to be catching like each of the fish in succession here. There's not really a whole lot to talk about because, I gave you the map of where to find them. It's not guaranteed that you'll get exactly the one you're wanting if you go to that spot. A lot of them are spread out and are like put together with other fish of different types, and there's also a lot of green gills around in some places. So the catfish, actually, this one was the one that took me the longest to find. I ended up just trying that little pond over there where we found the bottle, and sure enough, that's where I found this guy. So there's only one more fish that we need to catch, and this one I didn't really know about either until I started recording this and looking up stuff for it, because I never really played around with bobber fishing that much. But you can actually catch a Hylian loach this way, which is the fry of the legendary fish. That's the baby loach I was talking about earlier. So with that, we've collected all 6 fish for the fish journal. The other 2 that we didn't catch here were the green gill and the reek fish. And both of those are required to advance the story anyway. So there you go, there's the 6. As you can see, I caught 9 Hyrule bass trying for the other ones, so that's pretty much all there is to do with bobber fishing. So I have exited and re-entered the fishing hole. As you can see, the trees are all green now instead of pink, which means we're in the summer season. That's what I was talking about earlier when I was mentioning the adult loach. So I'm going in here because we're going to be lure fishing. So let's walk up to the counter, and she says it's 20 rupees to try lure fishing. There's no time limit. You can also pay 100 rupees to hire a guide, but there's really no need for that whatsoever. It's just kind of a waste of money. So we're then plopped out here in the middle of the lake with this little boat we can paddle. If you hit A, then you can keep fishing as is, change lures, or call it quits. The three different lures you have are the swimmer lure, which is like the normal one, the popper, which is great for big fish in deep waters, and the spinner lure, which is a siren song to nervous fish. Now, despite those descriptions and everything, I really don't see that much of a difference between all of them. You can also hit Z and it'll tell you, how to do crap, but what's the point? You can figure out most of it just by following the on-screen prompts. It's not that difficult. So I usually just tend to stick with the default swimmer lure, or whatever it was called, I don't even remember now. But we're going to go over here to this little waterfall. This is my favorite spot for catching bass because there's just this one guy sitting here under the waterfall. He's completely alone. And he's usually one of the bigger bass in the area, so it's a good idea to go for him. Basically, we just cast the thing and we kind of give the lure a little bit of back and forth action to keep the fish interested. Then when it's good and ready, it'll bite it. We hook it on our hook by holding the control stick down and holding B, and we just keep reeling it in. The bass is pretty simple. You can pretty much just hold the two buttons down and that'll do it. When it gets close, you land it with A, and that's a high road bass. So, of course, we're going to keep it because that's the only one of that type we have. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to change lures to the popper lure here. Just really for no real reason, but just to show you it looks a little bit different. I mean, there's no difference in functionality, really. We're casting under this big rock formation because this is where you're most likely to find catfish, and that's actually what I've got on my hook right now. Now this one is a little bit of a long battle because I caught them pretty far out. The fish usually aren't that ready to just jump onto the hook, so it takes a little while to reel it in. If they jump out of the water, then you want to stop reeling in and hold the control stick up to give the line some slack so it doesn't break. So we land this guy with A. It's an Orton catfish from Orton Like Link. We kind of get the disapproval music, I guess, because it's not that popular here, but it's one of the three normal types you can catch. So as you can see here, the place looks a little bit different. Not only is it rainy, but the walls have got this orange crap all over it. We're actually in the fall season because I literally could not find a Hylian pike in the summer. Like, I know they're out there somewhere, but I just couldn't find anything, so I ended up just going out and going back in. I've actually got one following the lure right now. You can't really see because the rain kind of makes the water a little bit murky, but he is there, and he'll catch it here in just a second. Come on. Come on. There he is. The Hylian pike is usually the one most likely to actually jump out of the water, so you want to be vigilant whenever you're reeling this guy in, but I guess since I was so close this time, he didn't really do anything. So there's the Hylian pike at 24 inches. It's the fish notorious for winning over fans with its closed eyes. So we keep that fish, and now we've caught all the three normal types of fish, so I'm going to hit A and call it quits. Yes, I really want to quit. We're then teleported back into the little hut. Fine fishing. Did you catch the fish you were aiming for? And she puts our fish in this little tank with her, like, 7 green gills, or 8, or however many that is. But that's pretty much all we're going to do for this episode. In the next part, we're going to take on the Hylian loach. See you then.